Seems fine.
Cool.
Okay. I think we're okay. All right. A little nervous. I don't typically drink beer during a podcast, but tonight I'm a little nervous. And Justin, are you frozen? Can you blink for me or talk or something?
I'm blinking.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right.
I'd be drinking too, but I know it would bring out the curse word, so I don't want to do that.
That's fair.
You have to work tomorrow?
Yeah, actually, I got to drive to Ohio again tomorrow. Woo!
Oh, fun.
So, yeah. But it's my second one. It's not like I'm drunk or anything.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Hey, Justin.
What's up, man?
Did you know that Jay-Z is an honorary dude?
Yeah.
Oh, you did know that? Okay. All right. Well, it turns out he is, and he's joining us for this podcast.
Yep. Jay-Z here in the house. Jay-Z NES.
Nice. Hey, it's funny. You joined us for the podcast. You started talking, and you have more of a Midwestern accent than I was expecting Jay-Z to have. You know?
Yeah,
I was expecting
definitely.
him to be more New Yorker, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
No.
No. I'm not that Jay-Z. I wish, though. Well, maybe not. I like me.
Yeah.
I'd like to be me.
It's fine. No, we have Jay-Z NES on the show with us. And just as a side note, I did not realize before we had him on that he has a YouTube channel, but I found out today in doing some extra research for the show because I looked up a video about the game, and guess who, like, the only person on the internet to have reviewed it is?
Yep.
It's
Me.
Jay-Z.
A video review, that is. There's other reviews. A lot of them are more scathing than mine, but
Yeah.
I'm the only
I think
positive
yours is
review.
the only positive review out there.
Yeah.
Let's not spoil it.
Yeah, no, that's
we
fine.
won't spoil it.
I don't want to. I'm not going to go into.
So we're talking about the Jetsons, Cogswell's Caper, here on the Two Dudes in the Nest podcast. We've got Jay-Z with us. Jay-Z, would you like to, before we get started, would you like to shout out your YouTube channel? It looked like it had a lot of views, so you may not need
The
shout
Jetsons
out,
video does. The rest of them don't have a whole ton of views, but it's mostly a passion project. But yeah, I'm Jay-Z NES. I do a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel there. Pickup videos. I try to review. I have this series called NES 101 where I review like just not the more of the underrated NES games, but just more of the typical ones. Like I've done Zelda and I did like Tales and that kind of thing. And then I have a series which is Jay-Z NES, which I haven't done. I've only done 2 of them, but I want to. Those are usually I put a lot of production into them, and that would be where you got like your Jetsons and your Fire and Ice, where they're more underrated sort of games. And then yeah, there's a few other series on there, but just a bunch of different stuff. Mostly known for my Jetsons.
Famous for the Jetsons.
Which is fine with me. Yeah.
My only beef with that Jetsons review is I think I counted about 15 to 20 remarks about it being a gym.
I did a counter while I watched it again. I did say it twice, at least in there. And I was trying to figure out if it was family friendly or not. And there is one D in there, but that's it.
I'd say that's pretty family friendly then.
That's not so bad. That's not the worst one to
Although
have.
on this show, the word gym is actually a curse word.
Yeah, I know, right?
Unless it's Jim,
So-
like Jimmy.
Yeah, like J.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just
Yeah.
not GEM.
Now, if you were
Salt.
referring to this game as a gym, like a Jimmy,
Yep.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All
I
right.
see a kitty.
So, Justin, would you or your kitty like to give us some history on this game?
Maybe. Would you like to? You don't want to talk about This Is Us? So I feel like the last 4 podcasts we talk about This Is Us.
I know. I will say one thing about This Is Us. I am caught up all the way to the most recent episode, but we started watching the most recent episode, my wife and I, and about 15 minutes in, I look over and she's just bawling her eyes out, and she looks at me and she says, I can't do it tonight. I just can't. So we didn't get to finish it.
Okay. There you go.
So we're almost caught up.
Yeah.
There's
I
our
told you
This Is
that's
Us talk for the episode.
it's not the one. It's not the one you think is going to be so sad. It's the next one. It's just the kick in the gut.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what we're on. We're on the one about the car. So
yeah.
Jay-Z, you watch that show?
I don't know anything about it. Only what I've heard on the podcast, though.
Okay, all right.
On this podcast.
Don't start. It's
right.
the most.
Yeah.
It's the. I'm pretty sure the devil himself writes that show because there's
Yeah.
nothing but pain and torment.
I've got so many other hobbies and stuff. I watch so many YouTube channels. It's like I can't even TV at any point. You know? So,
It's just devastates you.
yeah.
It's not worth it. It's just nothing but pain.
Pain and agony. Pain and agony.
Good to know. One less show to watch then.
There you go.
All right.
How about some history?
So we're gonna do history a little different tonight. We're gonna do a quiz game,
Boy.
Nice.
as we do with most guests.
Is this about the game or is it about the show? Because I don't know anything about the show.
It's a little bit about both, mostly about
Okay.
the show.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So maybe it'll be
So-
kind of.
Because there's not a whole lot,
Yeah,
there's
about
some
the game
history
for
out
sure.
there about the game, but there's not a whole lot. But there's a lot of Jetsons history.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll do
maybe
that.
maybe I have a chance then because I was about to say if you're putting me up against the only review on the internet about the game,
Yeah, that's true.
then I don't
That's
have a
true.
chance.
But there's plenty of Jetsons-esque just trivia here.
Okay, good.
All right. So question number 1. You buzz in with your name.
Okay,
There's
I'm
always
Mike.
gonna be
You
four.
want to usually go Jay
Yeah. Or John.
or
John's
John?
one syllable.
Okay, John.
I can do
Yeah,
that,
that's
right?
fine. Yeah, you can do John.
Right, yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
There'll be 4 choices. You can buzz in at any time. You don't have to wait for the
Yeah.
choices.
All right.
And one question won't have choices, but it should be fairly easy. Okay. Question number 1. How many seasons did the original Jetsons have? Is it A, 1, B, 3, C, 7, or D, 6?
Mike. 6.
Mike? That is incorrect.
Dang it.
John 7?
That is also incorrect. So we'll
Is it
reopen
3?
it. So now the 2 options are A1 or B3.
Oh, it's 3. Mike. It's got to be 3.
3, yeah.
The correct answer is A1.
What?
What?
The
No.
original.
It was
Listen,
on for
listen.
like 6 years.
It's a stipulation.
Did they
It's a
was it
stipulation.
like a new series of it or something?
Okay, yeah. So the original Jetsons aired from September of 1962 to April of 1963. They made only 1 season, and that season reran all the way up until the 80s, and then they made an
and
additional
then they
2
did more.
seasons. So there was only
Okay.
1 season made originally. in the
So 3 is
original
even more of a
Jetsons.
trick answer in that sense.
Yeah,
Because
so
there's 2
3
other seasons.
There's 2 other seasons, but they weren't made.
But
until
you said the
all
original
later.
run.
Right.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So, original run.
Clever.
1 season. So we're coming up. Mike, you're still shaking your head. You don't like
You're
that
just,
question?
you're just being a jerk with these types of questions. That's all I'm saying.
That's not a jerk. question.
Shenanigans. He calls shenanigans.
It's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, all
That's
right.
fine.
All right. Number 2. This game was featured in the June 1993 edition of what video game magazine? Was it A, Electronic Gaming Monthly? Was it B, Nintendo Power?
John.
C, Game Pro?
John. B.
Ooh, that was a red herring.
Ah,
Okay, good.
Mike,
I'm glad
would
It's
you like
featured
to
in
do the rest
Nintendo
of the
Power at
quizzes?
some point, so go ahead.
All right. So, Mike, you got A, Electronic Gaming Monthly, B, Nintendo Power, C, Game Pro, or D, Game Informer magazine.
I want to say Electronic Gaming Monthly.
It was Electronic Gaming Monthly when they
there you
rated it
go.
a 73% from Electronic Gaming Monthly.
Hmm.
So, not a bad
Remember-
rating.
Not bad.
I remember seeing it in some Nintendo Power, but it must not have been what year you were talking about.
Yeah. I didn't see it in Nintendo Power, but I believe, yeah, I'm sure.
It's
it
in
was.
there somewhere. They even have like a guide for the first few issues, or for issues for the first few levels, if I remember correctly. Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
All right, so it's Mike 1, Jay-Z 0. All right.
Wow.
Question number 3. What region received this game first? Was it A, Japan, B, North America, C, Europe, or D, Australia?
John,
John?
I'm gonna say it's B.
It is B. It's North America.
That's what I was thinking too, but you beat me to it.
So unlike most Nintendo games that would be released in Japan first, this one was released in North America first, Japan second, Europe third, and brought it to Australia in late 93.
Oh wow.
So,
I think Dude Gale will maybe be pretty upset with your Australian accent there. She's probably.
I didn't claim to be. I didn't claim to be an expert.
All right, Crocodile Dundee. Next question.
Speaking of Crocodile Dundee, best Super Bowl commercial was the one with I can't ever think of his name.
I know the one you're talking about.
It was not.
It was
hilarious.
It was all right. It was kind of funny.
Hilarious.
Hey, let
It
me
seemed
tell
like
you.
an actual movie trailer.
Okay, let me tell you. I watched it.
If they were talking about the same one.
Are we talking about the new Dundee movie? The one where his his son goes to Australia?
Yeah, but it ends up it's not a real movie.
It's not a real movie. Well, that makes it more funny.
No,
Okay.
it's not. It's just
the end of it.
the end of the commercial has like something. What is it for even? I don't remember.
He's like, what's his? I can't think of his name. He plays Kenny Powers. But he's really funny. All the stuff he does. But anyway, he's the guy that's playing Crocodile Dundee Jr.'s son. He looks. He's like, this isn't a real movie, is it?
Yeah, I remember.
This is a promo for Australia, isn't it? And it's just hilarious.
Okay.
Danny McBride was in there, right? In that commercial.
Danny McBride, that's who.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of his name.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fine. I guess I wasn't paying attention closely enough. I was too focused on the actual game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I was going to say, as a side note, tangent, right? I watched a new Will Ferrell movie. Have you seen The House? The one where they make their neighbor's house into a casino?
No,
but I'd like to see it.
Okay,
is it any good?
No, it's not. I did not find it very good at all. Okay, so here's my point. I'm about to drop a bomb. I think Will Ferrell is done. I think he's lost it because the last 2 or 3 movies I've seen him in, I just was not.
Is he
Lost
pulling
touch?
Is he pulling Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey he's done too.
I think
he used to be really good,
So I guess that means Will Ferrell. We can expect in about 5 to 6 years, Will Ferrell to completely lose his mind because that's what Jim Carrey's done.
Yeah, he might. I think that's a thing though. Like really funny comedians that have their heyday. When it goes away, they just can't take it. It's like people don't think they're funny anymore, so they go crazy.
Yeah, so they go for they're funny, and then they're not funny anymore, and then they just lose their mind.
Yeah. You know what they say? I mean, that comedy masks like sometimes dark feelings or whatever. So maybe they just lose their minds after that. If nobody thinks they're funny anymore, then they just regress, or something. So
could be. But long story short, I think
it looked like it'd be pretty funny though.
It is for a little while, and then it just kind of stops being funny. I don't know.
That's sad.
About halfway through, I just kind of lost interest in it.
I mean, that guy used to be anything he was in used to be hilarious.
I know, right? And
for the most part,
it's really just not the case anymore. Not for me, anyways. The funniest part of the movie is, I won't give it away specifically, but there's a part he plays like a nice guy, like a dad or whatever.
Yeah.
But at some point, he has to be like the enforcer of the casino, and like his turn from nice guy into enforcer is pretty funny. But that's about it. The rest of it's really not that funny.
I watched a good movie today.
Tonya.
It's like a Tonya Harding biopic.
Oh yeah, I kind of want to see that.
Okay.
Pretty good. It's really good.
I haven't heard of that.
Of course, you're a huge ice skating fan, Justin. So.
Yeah, that's true. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to follow this up. I just researched it. So the Jetsons were in Nintendo Power, but it was January 1993.
Oh wow! Okay, so it wasn't 93.
And who?
That must have been. Well, that would have been a Super Nintendo game, right? Or something.
Oh, well, maybe it
Because
was.
because
No, this
'92 is
game
when the
didn't
other
come
game
out.
came out. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, whatever.
No, it's the NES game.
Okay.
It's the game.
Because I
Okay,
know I have the issue. I have like the first 50 or so issues. I'm missing like them, but I just to have them.
So do we
NES
need
era.
to give John a point then? Because you messed the question up?
Well, the question was June.
No, the question's still right.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
fine.
you said June? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. So we need, speaking of questions, we need to continue the quiz.
Yeah, let's get.
We're tied 1-1, right? We're tied 1-1. All right.
so.
Question number 4. Who voiced Cosmo Spacely in the cartoon? Was it A, George O'Henton, B, Mel Blanc, C, Dawes Butler, or D, Frank Welker?
Question. Original or the ones or the next round?
Yeah, are we talking 80s or the 60s one?
I think they may have. Let's say
Or were they the same person?
This was the 80s. Because this was the most.
Okay, John.
Okay, John.
D.
No, it's not D.
Okay.
Okay, Mike.
I didn't know. That would have been pretty cool though.
Mike, B.
It is B, but you got to tell
Okay.
me the name because I don't trust you.
Mel Blanc.
It is Mel Blanc.
I know.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Oh,
You knew that?
I did know that actually.
So George O'Hanlon, the choice A was the voice of George Jetson.
Oh, that's cool.
Mel Blanc did Cosmo Spacely. Dawes Butler did Cogswell. And Frank Welker. I can't remember what he was, but he did something. Okay.
Well, he's done other things that are awesome. Megatron and what?
Frank Welker did Orbity. All right. So, question number 5. So it's Mike 2, John 1. So John, I need you to tie this up here.
Okay, I'll try. Is it about the game? It's about the game. Maybe I'll be able to.
No, it's not about the game. All right.
Well,
Number 5. What other? No, there's no choices in this. So
Okay. All right.
What other cartoon family did the Jetsons
Mike.
meet?
It's the
Mike.
Flintstones.
Yeah.
The Flintstones. In the 1987 made-for-TV movie,
Yep.
Jetsons meet the Flintstones.
The only
remember that.
Jetsons movie / TV show I liked.
Oh, yeah?
I was not.
You know,
a Jetsons
honestly,
fan.
I think that's the only thing of Jetsons, like of the show, that I actually remember that I've seen. So, there you go.
That was a big deal.
It
Yeah.
was a big deal.
Definitely.
Worlds collide. And it's so funny because it takes like futuristic game and it adds or futuristic show with prehistoric show.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Definitely.
Speaking of, flashback to the Flintstones episode that we covered. The
I was-
Jetsons have a little appearance in that game.
They
I was
do.
just thinking of that because when you guys played that at the end of whatever episode was before the Flintstones one, I'm like,
Threw everybody off.
yeah, this was by the time that I'd already like put in for Patreon that I wanted to do this episode right now, and I was like, how what
Nobody
did they already do
contacted
this?
me.
Like, yeah, I'm like, wait, what's going on here? And I'm like, this was a long time, it was a while ago, or like a few months at least, and it threw me off, and then I realized, oh, it's probably in the Flintstones.
Yeah, it was. That was one of my best
Yeah, that was a good one.
throw off moves that I've done.
And it's slightly different than the one in this game. So
Right.
like I knew something was wrong. Just it was real, cut and dry for me. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we'll end the game there. Mike will be declared the winner.
Are you still on a
I-
winning streak, or did you lose?
No,
at
I
some
think
point?
I've
I don't
lost to
remember.
somebody at some point. I was on a winning streak there for a while.
You still won like way more times than the guests for sure, as far as I remember.
Yeah, I mean my record is still pretty good, but
Definitely. Very.
Yeah. So anyway, of course, just to round out history, the Jetsons Cogswell's Caper was developed by Natsumi, like we talked about. And how do you pronounce that? Taito?
Yeah, I say Taito. I don't know.
All right. You say
Some people say Tato.
I say Tato.
Yep. That's you, Tato. Okay.
So,
Whatever.
but anyway, it was released in North America in December of 1992, right in time for the Christmas rush.
Mhm.
And
Good timing.
everywhere else pretty much kind of scattered out in the year 1993 in Australia, Japan, and Europe. And Mike, do you have a story on how you went and found this game?
Unfortunately, no. This one is not exactly within the old price range, so
Right.
and I didn't stumble
It's
upon it
expensive.
back when it was in the old price range. So unfortunately, no, I did not go on a quest to get this game. I demo mode with this game.
Do you think it's? I mean, spoiler alert. We've already talked about it's expensive, but do you think it's expensive because these kind of late in the life of NES games and just don't make
Absolutely.
a lot of them, you know?
The late Taito and Natsume games, or even just Taito games like Bubble Bobble Part 2 and Little Samson are some of the rarest games on the system. And this is actually a lot of times considered one of the most rare games for the system is Jetsons. That's why I snapped it up early because when I was doing my set there, because it's like it just I didn't want it to be one that I had to leave till the end because I rarely ever see it even at conventions and stuff. And when I do, it's like super expensive.
Yeah, so the
Did you
quest
have
for
to
the
pay for
cart
it? No.
may need to be John's quest for the cart this episode.
Yeah, it's really not that interesting, honestly, because this is one I picked up pretty early. But the Jetsons that I have here, I got this on eBay, so I got it for $90 back in the day. By the way, tangent, did you see the guy who was on our on the group there who had it for $5? Because
Yes.
that is one heck of a deal there.
I don't remember who
But,
it was, but I remember seeing it and thinking, "Oh man."
Yeah, I know, right?
Somebody
so
tell him, or did he sell it for that price?
No, he bought
he
it.
bought it at a flea market for that price, is what it said on his post, and
okay.
I was just like, wow, that's amazing. But yeah, I paid $90 for mine. This was 2013. I actually have my NES log over there. It was December 11th, and I got the cart. That's when it came on from eBay, or whatever. It was a pretty good deal, and it's not in the best condition. You can't really tell maybe from the video, but there's some bubbling a little bit somewhere there. But yeah, I got it, and yeah, it looks pretty good from the video. But yeah, it's really not in that bad of a shape, and I don't care anyway. But I got it really early on because when I had decided to do my set, it was somewhere before 100, so somewhere in there. Because I had played it, and I thought, oh, I want to play this game and see if it's any good because everyone always says it's horrible. And it was one of the more rare, obviously, games for the console. So I was like, I'm gonna get it early while nobody really cares. And of course now everyone cares because it's super expensive. So I got that.
While the iron's hot.
Yep. And on the same day, actually, another one that came from eBay, I got DuckTales 2 here, which is another pretty rare one.
Nice.
So and I've seen these games out and about now and again, so I feel like it's justified that I bought them on eBay as long as I've seen them again, kind of thing. But yeah, it's really not that interesting of a story. It's just I bought it on eBay, but it means something to me because yeah, it means something to me because it was one of the early rare titles that I got out of the way when I was doing my set. So it kind of these kind of games are what got me back into the NES. Really made me love the system, so kind of stuff.
And happy
that's why it means something.
93 Christmas to you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So do you have a complete set?
I'm missing 18 games. I'm very close.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, 19 games. I'm very close to a complete set. Most of the 19 games aren't even really some of the ones like anybody would really know or care about. Like I have like World Champ or something. It's like a $30-$40 game or something. There are all these like stupid games. The only big one left is Little Samson, which I'm probably gonna just leave for the end and grab it at the convention.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't really remember if there's anything else notable of being games, but I have most of the big ones. Another one I have is I have Flintstones, the prize at Dinosaur Peak there. I got that from a local friend who apparently he found it one town over from me, so that really whatever. And then also another cool thing I have is I have my Boy and His Blob signed by David Crane and Gary Kitchen there. And that was one of my favorite episodes of your guys', so I thought you guys would find that kind of cool.
Yeah, that was probably one of our, as far as for us, one of the best episodes just because we got to talk to him.
Yeah,
And we haven't got to talk to
it was
anybody
really cool.
else, really, so.
I loved hearing his story about it and everything. You know, like made it 6 weeks and just it's ridiculous. You know,
it was really cool.
Great stuff.
You know, I think we did that episode like in the first season of this podcast.
Yeah, we did.
It was really.
Now we just got tangents.
Yep.
Yep. Sorry.
We peaked early. That's right.
Yep.
So, all right. So, by the way, games like this game are the reason why I decided not to go for a full collection. Because I got up to like 400 and something games for the NES. Good. And I was like, I'm going for it. And then I noticed that most of the last 300 or whatever were these really expensive games. And it was already getting to be like 2013, 2014, 2015. I was like, this is not going to happen. So, because the prices just started going crazy and I gave up myself. But I get to use them for the podcast. So that's nice.
That's understandable. I'm crazy to have gone as far as I have, but now that I'm 18 games away, I'm like, well, finish it.
No, if you're that close, there's no reason not to.
You gotta finish it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the Jetsons, want to?
Yeah.
Jetsons the game, not the TV show. We're done with the TV show, I think, right? Everybody agrees that nobody really watched the Jetsons.
No, I don't know much about it, sadly enough. So.
Did you say you did, Justin?
I did not. I'm not a big Hanna-Barbera fan. Like, there's not a lot of stuff on Hanna-Barbera I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo is about it. You know, that's the only one that I cared about.
Hanna-Barbera was really big into dogs trying to talk, right? Because Astro kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dogs, for sure. There was a lot of them. In that Scooby-Doo knockoff that they did, too, there was a dog in that. I don't remember what it was called. You ever hear that? There's a Scooby-Doo. There's like a knockoff of Scooby-Doo, but they made it within Hanna-Barbera just to like make another show or what. I don't remember. Anyway, irrelevant.
That's silly that they would do something like that when they already have Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Hey, cat butt.
Hey, and you know, Adam Carolla always talks about how bad Hanna-Barbera was, and he always talks about Grape Ape, and I never saw Grape Ape. Apparently, Grape Ape is just this purple gorilla that just says Grape Ape. That's all he says.
I do not remember Grape Ape. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. So, and he just I guess that's just all he says is Grape Ape.
Of course, I'm pretty sure that they also have the imaginary Encyclopedia Britannica guy on Hanna-Barbera that apparently I just thought up on my own.
Yeah, I remember that.
The only person that's ever seen it.
I'm the only person that's ever seen the show, apparently. I swear it exists. Anyways, all right. I got a manual.
Awesome.
Yeah, do you have the manual with your copy?
I don't know. I've always wanted to get the box, but it's super expensive, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's like, you know, obviously a special game to me, but I'm never probably going to have the box or the manual. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. Those are when it's a rare game already, the manual and the box, because they're so fragile, you know, they're one of the first things to go. I bet they're, for the rare games, I bet those are really expensive.
Yes. Absolutely. It usually doubles, triples the price on some of them, so.
Yeah, that's nuts. Hey, Justin, can you get that cat out of your face, please? Thank you. You didn't actually have to. I was just being funny.
I know. She just liked to come in here and be a part of the show.
2 stars.
That's fine. 2 stars for the cat in the face. Okay, the story. George Jetson, digital index operator at Spacely Sprockets, was napping one day when suddenly his boss, Mr. Spacely, came in. "Wake up, George," he yelled. Cogswell's cogs are at it again. This time, they're out on planet M38, and they are destroying the planet by mining ore to make their cogs. They're not treating the local people fairly either. And besides that, they're making way too much money. It's up to you to find Cogswell's cogs, halt production, and save the planet and the people. Find your family and get moving. We're all depending on you. Now, wide awake, George begins planning. He'll need to find Jane, Judy, Elroy, Astro, and Rosie, the damaged robot. He knows they will be very angry that Cogswell's cogs are damaging M38, and taking advantage of the people there. They will give him all the things he needs to go through 12 stages and to defeat the enemies Cogswell will send to stop him. George will use boxes, stars, power packs, remote-controlled defenses, magnetic boots, and even a jet board in his mission to stop Cogswell's caper. That's the story.
Nice.
It's kind of...
That's pretty accurate. It's in the game, so...
It's a little too on the nose for me. Normally the manual will spell out the story in a more elaborate way. This pretty much just says exactly what the game says.
Copy paste.
It's not heavy on story. It's even the light story though it is nice. I mean, I think they implemented the characters well enough between the levels and whatnot, and usually they'll like give you a power up and stuff. And there's like a scene near the end where it's like you get to see them all again, and they all say like little things. So it's just kind of nice, Most NES games don't do that kind of.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think in paying attention to this, like how he's napping on the job and still getting his job done.
Yeah.
I just realized just now, for some reason, that the Jetsons was able to pretty accurately predict the future. I think the only thing they got wrong is all the characters in the show are not super obese. But other than that, it's pretty accurate.
True.
I mean, the robots do all the work. They just sit around and nap. They don't have to walk anywhere. They just ride the conveyor belts all over the place, or the treadmills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a good metaphor for now.
Yeah, but they came up with this in the 60s.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's cool about it.
All right, so the game. John, I'll let you describe the game. It's a 2D side-scrolling platforming game, but you take it away.
Elements of Chippendales.
The game.
Yep. With elements of Chippendales Rescue Rangers and with the boxes or what I don't know. I was doing my voice from the video there. The way I said
it. It sounded eerily familiar.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Chippendale where you have the boxes and stuff, and then like there's stars and power pills. The power pills they power your weapons. Or not your weapons. There's like different items. You have like a little robot that you can throw at guys or whatever, which is pretty helpful. And there's like a hoverboard and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a shield that you have to use near the end.
Okay, can I stop you there? Because I have a question.
Yeah, what's that?
Because you're going to be the one. You're going to be the expert on this game. Because Justin and I played it, but we usually have like a week to play these games. But you've played it extensively. No doubt. So my question is, do you earn those things?
Yes. After every level, generally they give you a new item, and like I said, most of the main characters of the show give them to you. Just they're different items that they have or whatever, and they give you. So.
Okay, because I noticed that you could pause the game and it looked like you had a little thing down the bottom where you could flick between stuff.
Yep, and that's how you do it.
I didn't have anything to flick between.
Yeah.
Because I beat the first level, and I played as much as I could of the second level, but that's about as far as I got.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember if you don't get one on the first level or if it's just like the second level. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it would be after the second level you get this little robot that like attacks, shield, and hoverboard, a bunch of stuff like that. So trying to think what else is there any. Oh, the gravity boots, which are a cool thing because those are very reminiscent of Metal Storm and Mega Man 5, which I think maybe came out beforehand, so maybe they stole that from those. But they can allow you'll like jump and you'll like go to the ceiling and you'll be like on the ceiling, and that's kind of a mechanic in some of the levels. You can like flick a switch and it'll do the same thing or whatever. But so that's
mechanic in the
that's
kind of
cool.
That does that, but you can do it automatically with the bits.
Yeah, so you can get different power-ups and like little items and stuff with that. The only thing is that the screen it's like Mario 1 where the screen doesn't scroll back. So if an item is off screen, then you can't like go back for it, which is kind of, whatever. I mean, the game's built around it, so it's not really a big issue, but that's kind of.
So the magnetic boots will allow George to walk on the ceiling to avoid obstacles. Select the boots and then press A to jump and B to flip George upside down and cling to the ceiling. They drain the power packs. So you got
a pill per second. So
a pill per second.
So the power packs, they each like all the different items have like the robot thing that you throw at the guy that has like 5 takes and Some of the other ones take about like 10 or 5 or something. So you get these from picking up boxes, and they'll just be randomly around the level, kind of that kind of stuff when you kill enemies and whatnot. Actually, well, no, I guess we can talk about that when we get to the bosses or so yeah, basically it's just a side scroller. You can go through the levels, and there's just little different gimmicks on there. I don't know how. I mean, obviously you guys didn't make it very far, so maybe you found it like this as well. But it's really difficult in the sense that it's very trial and error a lot of times, and you have to really know the patterns and pick up on stuff. So that's like one of the, I guess it's not really a downfall, but it's like, that's a thing. It can be really tricky sometimes.
Right. Now, I don't, let's see, I don't know exactly how long it took me to beat the first level. So John and I were talking about this before the show. First of all, when I play, even in demo mode, and I know I should, it's to get further to cover the game for the show, but I typically don't use save states and stuff because I want to play it just like it was on the NES. So when I get on the demo mode, I will put it in hardcore mode, which is a function of some emulators out there. So when you put it in hardcore mode, you can't do save states. You can't do all the nice fancy stuff because it makes it just like the NES game. So I usually turn that on and I play it. So when I did that earlier in the week, I played it and I could not beat the first level. I tried. And the game lets you continue basically as much as you want, but it starts you from the beginning.
It's infinite continues, which is the best part. So.
Yeah, but it starts you from the beginning of whatever level you're on. So I made it to that. At the end of the first level, the boss is a dog. I made it, and there's a dog with a conveyor belt, and it's pretty much
that guy is so hard.
It's pretty much the most frustrating scenario you can think of.
Oh.
And so I made it to him.
I can think of a few more from later on.
Yeah. So I made it to him repeatedly and died. Yeah. And so I quit playing, and then I started playing again today before the show. So I played for a few hours today, and I got past the first level. I got to where I could beat the first level fairly regularly. But oh my goodness, the second level, and I'm sorry, maybe I'm just an idiot, but at the very beginning of the second level, there's these little leaves. You have to jump, and the timing of how to make the leaves bounce you higher than normal.
It's ridiculous.
I could not figure that timing out. And so I just kept dying over and over again. And so
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically I just played the first level several times, and the second level just frustrated me to the point where I didn't want to play the game anymore. But we're not going to talk about whether or not I like it yet.
Right. Those leaves are just horrible in the sense that, like, if you know how it works, even you still can still screw it up. I tried that part for last night for quite a while. I couldn't get it, but eventually I got it, obviously. But there's a lot harder parts than that later on. But it's like, that's really frustrating part. I knew you guys would probably bring that up if you'd gotten that.
Yeah. So that leaves thing, it actually made me. Yeah. What I did was, and this is probably not the smartest thing to do, but you can continue repeatedly as many times as you want on the level. You can keep starting it over and over again. But those leaves made me so frustrated that I reset the game and then just played the first level again because at least I could enjoy the first level. Nice. Because I knew I could beat it.
Yeah.
But I
just going to play what I can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
The second level's not very good. But it's okay. The leaves are the worst part of it. But yeah, the thing that I figured out is if you get kind of a running jump, you wouldn't think that there's actually momentum. But if you start from the beginning of the one platform and just keep running onto it and then jump, you have to. It's really specific about its timing and whatever, of course. But you can get it to do it sometimes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, those are the worst though.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Now,
you get the timing just right, and you get to do it sometimes.
The thing about this game is that there's a lot of variety to the levels later on and stuff. I don't know, if you guys watched any later on or whatever. But
I watched a lot of video about it. That's where I'm getting a lot of my knowledge about the later levels.
Yeah,
because I just obviously I couldn't make it to them.
So yeah, the first boss, the dog, that's pretty frustrating. But that one took me a while too. And I was doing it on the regular NES, so it was like I had to not use save states or whatever. But that one's pretty frustrating. The second boss though, the spider, he's not really that hard. So you get through this hard level, and then it's like you can probably beat him your first or second time trying. It's really not that bad. And then the third level is really easy because it's real short. It's like this: you're just in this basketball gym or something, and you just jump across a few platforms. That's it, And then I think that actually is where you get the power up, because you get some power up there. I don't know if that's what that one is or what.
So what I the gist that I kind of got from this game, well, of course you mentioned it, the Chippendales Rangers feels very similar to that. It feels a little slower paced than that, but there's they got the same kind of mechanics. But what really got me is I feel like the difficulty curve is more like a sine wave. It's like, you know, like they don't, if they would have rearranged the levels or something, they could have made it kind of like a normal game where you starts off kind of easy and gets harder. But for me, it's like the first level, the boss of the first level should have been on a different level, because the first level itself is not too terribly bad. But the boss is really frustrating and somewhat difficult. And then the second level seems just ridiculous all of a sudden. And it sounds like, and from watching video and from what you're saying, it sounds like the third level, for instance, is probably the easiest of the
well,
bunch,
there's that one, and then there's a very similar stage way later on that it's like the 6th or 7th level where it's just a little blurb like that again, and it's just like on a basketball field court or whatever, and then you just like jump through. Real short, but you're right, it's all over the place with its difficulty, but it pretty much remains consistently difficult the entire time, so it takes some practice.
Those levels could be a bit of reprieve. You're just getting a little bit of
could be.
I think that's the idea.
Hit you hard, give you a little break, hit you hard, leave you a little break.
Yep
Okay, that's fair.
The third level, actually, I know you guys didn't, or the fourth level, I think at third main level, the fourth level, at the end though, there's this gear section, and that stuff is just ridiculous as well, because it's really about the timing. They place like boxes in your way. It's an automatic scrolling level, and the thing is right behind you the entire time. So if you don't get this like perfectly, and then later on there's this I'm going to go a little crazy at some of these levels, because this blast furnace level, it took me like hours and hours to beat this, because it was just ridiculous. They put this section, and this is why. They put this section at the end, which is exactly like the gear thing, where it's chasing you, except there's lava below you, and you have to keep hitting switches in the level to lower the lava, and there's guys like constantly. You have to know this like perfectly. And at the end, the boss is not the easiest boss either. You guys play, I remember... guys did play Zelda 2 on that one episode. It's a later boss though. I don't think you guys probably made it. There's like level 6 or 7 where there's a dragon that comes up, and then he like goes back down, he comes up over here, that kind of stuff. They do that. It's a very similar boss to that, except you have to keep lowering the lava, because the boxes that you can use as your attack are below the lava. So it's real tricky. That level is the hardest level by far, I would say, the blast furnace level, and that's like 7.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like that's level 7-ish out of 12 levels. That's the middle of the game.
Yeah,
and it's the hardest level. So I don't know. That would honestly,
like structurally. Oh yeah, good.
That almost makes me not want to continue playing the game. I don't know if I will or not.
Right. Yeah.
Mechanically, I really like the game. Like I like the way it controls. The
controls are really good.
The controls are good. I like the mechanics of throwing the boxes and stuff. I like how you can throw them diagonally, but they arc. Like he can only throw them so far, and then they kind of arc and come back down. I think that's
Chippendale
really cool.
didn't have that, as far as I remember, which is nice.
No, Chippendale, when they threw their boxes, they just went pew way off.
Yeah,
they just
it wasn't as accurate. So it was like that's a good game.
I also like the power pack aspect. Is like you get these weapons, but you only could use them so much because you had to have the power packs. I think that was a great idea that they utilized.
Yeah, it's almost got a little bit of a Mega Man concept where at the end of a level you get a new ability, right? And I like that. That's pretty cool. Like you get the boots that you can go onto the ceiling and stuff. Or it's also kind of got a little bit of maybe like a Blaster Master feel or something. It's where you earn new abilities throughout the game that kind of change how the game works. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. There's another really good level. It's like actually right after the blast furnace, I think, is you go to this like rock concert, and there's you're on this like side scrolling it's well, they're all side scrolling. It's like think of like a side scrolling shooter almost, but you're not shooting anything. It's like you're just avoiding enemies and like these little things that shoot stuff at you and stuff. It's pretty cool, and there's like little people that'll jump up and like hang onto your board and stuff. It's a neat level, and it's got one of the best tunes in the game as well. So that one's pretty cool. And then, so yeah, I don't know. That was another level, and then you're at the like the office of Cogswell there, and that one's pretty good. At the end of that is actually the best boss, which is Cogswell, and he's like a 3-part boss, and it's really epic and like crazy. The last level doesn't even have a boss, which is kind of disappointing, I guess, but it's also like an escape sequence, kind of like Metroid or something. So, but the Cogswell boss, he's got 3 different forms. He'll like one of the forms he'll go across the screen, and then like he's got these little 2 like chain balls that'll like diagonally throw at you. So if you know, like, he'll be stuck at a certain point in these each of the sides, and the boxes are on the sides, so you have to like you have to like get the timing down. It's pretty cool. And then the second part, if you duck at the right time, it'll like go over you. And then the third part is really difficult because he shoots like lightning down while shooting Cog, and then you also have to go and get the box stuff. It's pretty intense, but that's pretty cool.
You kind of touch on it. The idea of having to go get a box in order to attack. Yeah, it really kind of works. That's the whole kind of crux of the game, and it really kind of works because they can play with that in different ways. Because they can put the boxes in different places, or they can set a box on a conveyor belt, or they can set a box in like a weird spot where you have to go get it. So, I mean, that's a really good idea and a good concept there, and it really makes for some really, from what I could tell, and it's frustrating that I couldn't do more with the game, but from what I could tell, it really makes for some really cool boss battles. The boss battles looked awesome in this game.
The boss battles are good. For the most part. Some of them are really frustrating, like that dog. He actually becomes like a mid boss later on too in the office level. Yeah, but you know what? The funny part about that is he just is stationary, so you can cheese it to where he's on screen, but he's just stuck there and he can't shoot anything at you. And you have all these boxes that you can just throw at him, so you can be a little bit exploitive with that one. But there's also Cosmic World, which I want to say for my review, this is the biggest complaint I have with my own review is that I was wrong. And I just figured this out today, actually, that I was wrong about this. I say in the review that you need to have these the little robot that you throw at the guy, you need to have enough pills to do that as many times as you can, which is another way of killing bosses if you have enough pills. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to really plan that out if you want to do that. So what I did when I did the review was I would go through the stage and I would die at the end, and you just go right back to the beginning because it's kind of just a short stage. And then I just kept grinding pills, and then on my last life I would go and fight him and just use the option the whole time. Mm-hmm. But what you're supposed to do is he shoots these little star things, which how would you know you're supposed to grab those unless you've seen it or whatever, like online, which you know, back in the day. He shoots those, and you're supposed to, they're so specific. They have to be right over you, and you have to grab them when they're over you and then throw them back at them. And there's 2 enemies in that stage, and they both do this, and there's one above, and he's throwing stuff down at you. So it's a really intense boss fight. That's probably like one of the more frustrating levels in that sense. But when I figured out I could do that, I was like, oh wow, you know, I didn't know that before. Mm-hmm. There's also a mechanic in that stage. They use little mechanics everywhere that just are like, they don't get recycled. They're just in certain levels. You can actually turn into a tiny George there and like go through cracks and stuff on different parts of the stage. You can grab little items and stuff, but like, I didn't know how you turn back into the big George. You have to like flip different switches and stuff. It's a little weird, but
there's definitely some like puzzle elements to this game too with the switches.
Yeah.
They like to play with the switches, right? Like even on the first level, I noticed that in order to get an extra life, you have to flip a switch and it turns the boxes upside down, and then you have to throw a few boxes so that when it flips back upside down, you can go through the boxes and discard them.
And I didn't mention that the stars that you collect throughout the stage, you can actually, if you get 10 of those, you get an extra life. So that's something.
The game is very, very generous about giving you extra lives and letting you continue as many times as you want. For as difficult as it is, it's not going to make you start the entire game over again. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
you'd have to. You go insane. You're just like,
Yeah, you need my criticism is you need a save system or a password system. That would be the best way to do this. I think a password system, because you don't put the save battery would be pretty expensive, and then
Yeah.
it would just make the game like even more uncommon. Probably even more rare at this point.
Right. A password system would have been perfectly fine if you could just
I would have
on
really
another
liked
level,
that.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's my one complaint. Nowadays you can just use save states and whatnot, but even still, a password system would have been nice, as opposed to unlimited continues.
I need to come up with my own rule system so that when I do play these games, I don't force myself to go totally old school. Like on a game like this, I should have been allowed to save state after a level or something. That way, after I think the first level, I could save state, and then I wouldn't, like the next day, I could come back and I could play. You know what I mean? Just pretend like I'm leaving the system on or something.
Right. Or when there's those really frustrating levels later on, once you've beaten the one part, you just save at the boss or whatever, because you don't want to have to do. I know it's kind of cheating, but it's you don't want to have to do all that again. Trust me, I did it legitimately this time around. You just don't want to have to do all that again. Just it'll make you go insane.
So this is a game.
It's a little hard.
To me, it's fair.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's unfair for the most part. I feel like most of the mistakes were my own doing. I feel like it's difficult. It would have been nice to have had some kind of a password feature.
Little room for error, I guess, is something you could say about it.
Yeah. Have you guys done Journey to Silius yet?
We have not.
No.
Maybe I should Patreon for that one, because that's a really good game. I'd like to see you guys do that one, because you keep bringing it up every now and again, and that's a really good game.
We bring it up mainly for its music, but we have the music. I mean, I've played it in the past, and I've got it, but
what made me think of that is that's another game that's super hard, and it doesn't have a password system. So, that one took me a while. That one. Yeah, I don't know. And then, some of the bosses are cool, and then it's kind of difficult. That's the last level is pretty cool because they start you off with 99 pills, so you can just kind of go crazy with it, which is nice. And if you can make it to the end of that level with the 99 pills, or just at least enough pills, there's all these rocks that fall down, and you have to basically shield yourself from them. And after that, though, it's just that's all you do. You just jump over a few platforms, and that's it. The game's over. So. The music in the game, though, I want to mention, is really good. I don't know what you guys thought of it, but I think it's really underrated for sure.
Yeah, we can talk about the music. It's a little bit out of order because we normally do graphics first, but we'll do music.
Oh, sure, graphics. Let's talk about those. I like the graphics. I thought they were great. So they're very colorful and lively, and I think they reflect what they do well. So
I thought the graphics were the best aspect of the game.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they've got that cartoon feel and everything about the the graphics are great.
Yep. I've got this Commodore monitor, and it makes everything look super clean. Even more so than the Sharp NES TV here. My Commodore monitor in the other room, it just makes everything look just beautiful, and especially NES games, and it made this game look. That was
nice.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Fancy pants over here.
I know. Well, see, initially I got the Sharp NES TV over here, which do you guys know about that, or you familiar with that? They're kind of rare, obviously, and it was just a kind of a midway through my collection. I really just wanted the best way to best visually way to play these games, since they don't look very good on HD TVs or whatever. And I thought that'd be it. Really, the Sharp NES TV looks pretty good, but you got to get yourself a Commodore monitor. That's the way to do it. It's the best. So, I don't know if you guys have ever seen how clean it makes games.
I have not. I don't know anybody who's ever had one.
So good. PS2 games look really bad nowadays on HD TVs, but the Commodore monitor, it basically makes it look HD. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's just so good. Anyway, back to the game, I guess.
I had a back when I had a CRT TV, I had some kind of Sony. It was whatever with the best you could get, or whatever supposedly the best you could get for all retro games. And I had tracked one down. It was I think it was like a Sony Vega TV or something. I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
But it made all the old games look really good, but it was just so bulky and took up so much space that I gave it to somebody else.
Yeah. I've got a giant TV. Actually, I can. If it is. Well, you can kind of see how big it is. This thing is a monster. That's what I used to play my my stuff on back in the day. That's my old like childhood TV. And then I've got one. You can't. There it is. That's another one, which is I got a lot of TVs, CRTs, because you gotta have them for different games and stuff. But anyway, CRT tangent there, I guess.
Yep, CRTs. That's that's the way to go for these old games, because that's the way they were designed. Definitely. They look, if you don't do it, the lines are not smoothed out. They're all jaggedy and stuff.
Yeah, it looks bad on new TVs.
Yeah,
but alas, that's what I play on for the most part now. If I don't play on the actual NES hardware, most of the time I'm playing on a Retron 5 or on a RetroPie. So,
yep.
Most of the time my games look like butt, but
yeah,
such is life.
That's how it is. Yeah, unless you really want to.
We make.
Yeah, unless you want to invest in like a frame. That's so expensive. It's like you want to talk games are expensive, but that might be worth that. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear I think it was Analog NT or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
I hear that's the way to go if you want to play on a newer TV.
Definitely.
But that's pretty expensive too, and they're pretty rare because they don't make very many.
Yeah.
Of them.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, enough of that tangent. The bottom line is the graphics in this game are great. Just as many
really good.
NES late era 90, 91, 92, that era for NES games, they all just look great, and this is right in there.
I'm sorry. Yeah, especially Taito. They in Natsume, like Lil Samson and all those games like that look just ridiculously good. Panic Restaurant is another good one, and that one looks really cute and awesome as well. So
yeah, this game, every level is pretty varied and different.
Definitely,
they all look different. Just think of Mario. As much as great as Mario is, every level is pretty much the same. It's the same hardware, so it just amazes me what people can do in 10 years working on hardware.
Yep, definitely. I don't. Oh, good.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say was I don't know if you guys have seen the Fire and Ice video that I did, but that was one of my complaints with that game was like they have all of these varied places on the overworld. It's like volcanoes and stuff, and like forests and stuff, and it's all just the same background every time. It's like it's so disappointing. But a game like this, it really stands out because it makes you feel like you're going on a journey. You're in different places. The characters refer to the different places. Even the map screen is cool because like you can see yourself flying to the next place or whatever. It's awesome. I really enjoy it.
So yeah, I think the graphics are great.
Yeah,
I have no complaints there.
Agreed.
Even the little animations, like when he jumps and he's got a little jetpack and stuff, I think it's cool.
Yep. That was the other thing I mentioned in the review. The animations are really good. All the enemies have like different little animations and stuff. Even if you leave like George just sitting there for a while, he'll like look at you and like tap his foot or whatever, like Sonic or something. Yeah. So.
Like who?
Like who?
Oh yeah, like
You mean like on Super Mario 64 where Mario?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, does he? Yeah, does he? Yeah, Mario falls asleep, right?
Yeah, Mario falls asleep. Is that what you're talking about? I don't know about that.
Yeah. In Fire and Ice, actually, he falls asleep too if you leave him idle on the screen. So Mario actually stole that from there.
Yeah, okay.
If anything.
So I don't know this Sonic you speak of.
Yeah. Blonic. You guys ever see that? Blonic?
No.
Look that up. There's like 4 really short videos, but they're animation called Blonic. Hilarious. He's like, I'm not Sonic. I'm my original character, Blonic. Yeah.
What was the answer? There was some kind of question on Jeopardy, and they like about Sonic. I think it may have been about Sonic. I don't remember, but
that's where Sonic comes from. I think actually, isn't it?
Yeah. It was like really bad.
Sonic.
Yeah, Danky Kang or something.
Danky Kang. That's what he
puts.
Right,
that's it.
Some people just don't understand. They don't know,
Speaking of which, tangent. Hey, did you see the Jeopardy round the other day? It was like a round of football questions.
No, I don't really watch Jeopardy.
I barely watch TV.
I wasn't watching it, but it was shared on YouTube or Facebook, and then but they didn't get a single one right. It's hilarious because like they just kept at it, and like a couple of them were pretty easy questions.
Yeah.
Or most of them really were, and they had no clue.
That's what happens when you get a bunch of history nerds on a TV show, game show, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can talk about the music. So
okay, well, I was gonna say the music is awesome. It's really good, and I listened to it. You know, like you guys always talk about, oh, is it listenable outside of the game? I definitely have the CD, and I have all the songs on there, and I listen to it outside of it. So it is awesome.
Okay,
there you go.
Not that there was a CD made, but I made it.
You made it for yourself.
I listened to it in my car. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Hey,
I think it's awesome. I think. Oh, good.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say
I think it themes the different levels very well. You know, you can kind of tell. I think my favorite track is probably the one that you guys used for the end thing on the last one. Was the third? I keep saying third level. It's the fourth level technically track. And that one's one of my favorites. The last level too has a really good theme. Well, yeah, all of the levels.
The one that we used at the end of last episode is my favorite. That's why we used it.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
That one is really good. For me, it was kind of hit or miss, and I don't know.
Yeah, there's a few of them that are a little repetitive.
There's a few duds in there, and unfortunately, one of the duds for me is the first level and the first boss.
Okay.
I did not like either one of those songs, and
the boss theme is always consistent, so that's what it's. That's what it always is.
The boss theme is. And I will also say that my wife, Amber, was sitting on the couch. She was playing on Facebook or whatever while I was playing the game. And at some point she said, because I kept fighting that stupid dog over and over again. And at some point she said, can you like mute that or something? Because that's really annoying. And I said,
yeah, it's pretty repetitive.
You said, nope.
I like it. I like the first level as well, but whatever.
Said, no, you are going to listen to that and you're going to like it. No, I said I did until I beat the dog and then I turned it back up.
The side scrolling the rock level, that one good too.
Yeah. I can't think of what it is, but I believe you.
Yeah.
But I know I listened to pretty much all the tracks. Whenever I was picking them out, because normally what I'll do is I'll listen to most of them, and then I'll pick the one out that I want to use for the for the next game's music at the end of the show.
Yeah,
and after listening to all of them, I felt like it was kind of hit or miss for me. I liked about half of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked about half of them to the point where I'm kind of with you. I was like, about half of these are really, really good, and then the other half I thought were just kind of didn't really like.
Well, the composers of it, it's Itzo Mitsutane and Kazuko Umino. I only remember that because of my video. They are actually from the band Zutada, which is. They also did the music for Ninja Warriors and a few other. That was called Ninja Warriors. It's like a Super Nintendo game and like an arcade game and stuff. And I don't know if you guys. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watch Happy Console Gamer, but that's like one of his bands that he really likes. That video game oriented. So it's just kind of a cool tie-in there. But yeah, they did a good job, I think, on the music.
Yeah, I think the musicals were great too. I side more with Jay-Z over here on the music end. I'll take my music advice from Jay-Z.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, there you go.
I would trust Jay-Z more than me in the music business for sure.
Right.
So okay, that's fine. That's fine. So maybe I'm the only one, but for me, some of them were awesome, and some of them were really terrible for me.
Yeah, I agree. Some of them are just kind of really repetitive, so I'm on board.
It's the repetitiveness. It's not that they were instantly annoying. It's just within 20 seconds, it seemed like they started repeating themselves, and it's
the cuts that I have of the song on my CD. They're all 3 minutes and 1 second or whatever. They're like from playlist, so I always skip the tracks that are just repetitive in the middle. Like the middle tracks that are just for those short levels or whatever. I'll listen to it for like a few seconds, and I'm done with this one. So that tells you anything.
Yeah. Okay. So somewhat agree with me, maybe not as much, but I think we're all kind of on the same page. In general, it's pretty good. Pretty good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, Justin. It's time. Is it worth it? And how much does it go for?
Oh boy. Well,
I'm interested. How much does it go for nowadays?
so I'll pull up this website here. That tells you kind of pricecharting.com.
Mm-hmm.
It says the loose price for sales is about $147.
Sounds about right.
And you were talking about the manual. How much is the manual going for?
Yeah.
The manual's going for $53.
Okay. All right.
Pretty. Yeah.
And
That's
the
pretty
box,
high for a piece of paper.
just the box.
Oh,
The box is $130. But that doesn't
Oh.
come
Really?
with the game.
So what is a complete price then?
Complete
like
is-
$400 or $500.
Complete is $350.
Okay. Hey, that's not bad.
And new, I guess that means sealed,
Mm-hmm.
1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, is it worth it?
That's the question.
I,
For me, it's going to have to be a pretty amazing game to be worth that price. And I just,
Right.
I don't think it is. Not for that price.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that it's not a good game. If this was a game that was down in the $10 to $15 range, like a lot of NES games are, hands down, it would be worth
Easy.
that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Easy worth it. Yeah.
It's just that's
$150,
just an exorbitant
that's just-
amount of money to pay for an NES game, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, okay. So you guys always say that at the end there, but I mean, there's a lot of NES games that are way higher than that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I'm not calling you out or anything. I'm just saying, like, I always kind of chuckle when you say that because I'm like thinking, oh god, well, I paid like how much for Zombie Nation and all these other games. That's kind of a it's for rare NES, it's really not that expensive yet, and hopefully it doesn't get as more expensive. I agree with you guys that it's probably not worth it to somebody like you guys who are just kind of no offense, like just like I don't want to say casual because you're not necessarily casual, but you're a little bit more like I have all the games and I'm going to buy any one that I can get because I'm a collector,
Mm-hmm.
But to somebody who's not looking to get all the games, it's probably not worth it. You probably should just demo mode it, and for the save states especially, because it'll make the game a lot more enjoyable and a lot more fun if you don't have to replay a lot of the different bits of the level that it makes you replay.
Yeah, that's kind of another thing for me too. Is this is one of those games that is probably more enjoyable to not buy it and play it. And I
think you might be. Oh, good.
I was going to say it's fine for you to call us out because we are not collectors. I was at one point in time, but I'm not anymore.
Yeah,
and Justin's not a collector, so we do try to mention collectors in the show. But if you're a collector, you're going to try to collect them all anyways. So whatever we say during this segment means nothing to a collector.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure. For the collector, yeah, it's probably worth it to get it soon because it's gonna just probably keep going up as people find out about it. But because it's not as well known right now, obviously, one of the only reviews for it. So that kind of thing.
Between you and us, now the world knows about it.
Oh
Yeah, for sure.
Better
So
get
it's
it
gonna.
before this-
So we're gonna raise the
Pop
price a little bit
drops.
probably,
Yeah.
but So what I'm trying to say is I agree with you guys. You should probably just emulate it, and that would probably be the way you would enjoy the game more. And so no, it probably is not worth it to some people, but to others, like the collector, maybe.
You do bring up a decent point, though. Should we, in the is it worth it segment, differentiate? Is it worth it just in general, and then is it worth it in the rare echelon of games? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there is this upper tier of like $100 plus games. There's not a lot of them, but there is a, like I said, there's a tier of games that do we categorize and say this one's more worth it than another one? You know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I think as you guys go on, you're gonna find that there is a lot of those honestly that are more expensive than this. So there's probably at least a good 200 to 300 that are maybe not that many, maybe like 150 to 200 games that are over this price for sure. there's a lot of games on NES, you know. So you probably,
There's
you know,
like
I know
800
every game pretty much. I can, like, if you just throw a game out at me, like Danny Sullivan's Indie Heat, for example. I don't know if you guys know about that one. It's like a meme CU podcast at the NES. But a game like that, you know, like, you know, that's not a rare game. Actually, it's the rarest game in Europe or whatever. And I don't know why that is, but I'm just saying there's a lot of games out there. So, you know, that's kind of the joy for you guys, though. You get to, like I did, find out about all these games, and, you know, like, you don't even know at this point, like, how many. There's so many games for the NES. You know, at some point you're just gonna run into a bunch of, you know, underrated games, as they were, you know. So and that's the fun of it. That's the beauty of it, you know.
To be honest, you know, a lot of people probably won't believe me when I say this, but one of the reasons that we set up the Patreon goal of having giving the people the opportunity to select a game, one, of course, is because, you know, it helps us fund the show, but the other is it's a reward that people can pick a game they want to hear, and they get to pick a game that we may not even know exists.
Yep.
So it's a game that we may not even have ever even touched for years and years down the road if we continue to do this forever. That, you know, maybe it's something that we didn't even know about until we started really digging it down. Because if it was for us to pick, we're going to pick games that we know already and that we've played.
Yep. Right.
You know, one of the 350 games that I have, or whatever. Yep. But there's twice that many out there in the world that we might not even know about.
Yeah.
So
I think that it'll be. It's also interesting because then you get to, you know, sorry, I don't remember what I was saying. Anyway, I feel bad for you guys though, because you're also gonna have to review games like Color a Dinosaur, the 4 Sesame Street game, Taboo the Sixth Sense, which isn't a real game. It's like 5 minutes of gameplay, and then I don't know how you're gonna get an episode out of those. So
it'd be a lot of tangents.
You're gonna have to do a lot of tangents, or for like the Sesame Street games, you might just want to combine them all or something. You know,
for the Sesame Street, we may combine them all. Yeah,
they're so basic and like nothing that it's just like, oh god, you guys are gonna have a ton of fun with the. You better do all these at once. The Fisher Price game, those are just the best. Watch my Fire and Ice review sometime. I make a joke about it. Oh man, that's a good one. But anyway, tangent there. So, I don't know.
All right, choo.
Train.
Get a train.
Yeah. So no, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting getting down into the games like that. I will say that my wife and I did play Color Dinosaur the other night. It was interesting.
You actually have that one, or
I do not have that one.
Oh, okay. You just emulate.
We
demo mode it. Sorry. Okay.
Basically, if I mention that I played it with my wife, it's not a game that I own, because if it's a game that I own, I have to play it in this dungeon room, this office that I always go to by myself. Because
I'll just spoil the episode whenever you get there. That one's not worth it. It's like $80 to $100 for that game, and it's like you color a dinosaur, and you don't even really color it. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, spoilers. Okay, so now we don't have to do that episode.
There you go.
We just
hey, if you want to get me on for all the really crappy games, you know,
we'll get you on for all the really crappy, expensive games. How about that?
Yeah. Or just get me on for the underrated ones that I've mentioned, like Stanley, and because nobody else is going to be able to do Stanley as well as I will. Because that one I'll actually have an interesting story for. So
yeah, we'll get you on for Stanley.
Okay.
All right.
And then Star Wars as well is another good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, we got George Lucas lined up for Star Wars, so
yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Harrison Ford might call in. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, he said maybe.
How much you paying him? Billions.
Yeah. All the Patreon dollars go to Harrison Ford. We've been saving up.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Retrofitted trophies. I've got 3.
I gotta think of some.
That's fine.
Forgot about that part.
I can go first if you want me to. Justin, you got any?
I actually don't even have any this time.
Oh boy. Okay, I got 3. And
you gotta carry the show. You gotta carry the show here.
I'll go really slow just in case you guys can come up with something. Okay, my first one is Jetson, you're fired. And that is, because his boss always says that to him, but then he for some reason, I don't know if you remember the show, but he gets fired all the time, but he always keeps his job. It seems, I don't know. Can you really trust his boss to fire him? No, you cannot. Anyways, to earn Jetson You're Fired, you have to fail at beating the first level. You just can't. I got that trophy many times.
Nice.
You just can't beat the first level. And that's Jetson You're Fired.
So it's not really a trophy. It's more of a non-trophy.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of a trophy. Whatever that is.
It's a turd.
It's a turd. That's right. Okay, I've got another one. It is Roarge. That's Astro, by the way. That's my Astro impression. To get Roarge, go into a boss segment. Okay, sorry, it's Rutro. Sorry, Rutro Roarge. There you go. Is that better? Does that make sense?
Okay. Got it.
Thanks. To get Rutro Roarge, you have to go into a boss segment with only 1 life and 1 heart. Like, can you beat this boss? Because if not, you're going to have to start the entire level over again.
All right. I like
it. Is that all you got?
I like it.
Okay. Anybody else got any yet? Because I've got one more.
I got a few.
Okay.
My first one is, okay, so do you remember I was telling you about the one where I was wrong, where you have to pick up the stars or whatever? Uh-huh. That world's called Cosmic World. So my trophy for that is beat that guy by just beat those 2 guys, because there's 2 of them on that boss. Beat those guys just by using the stars, and that's Cosmic Super Caper, or Cosmic Super Caper. And then, no, that's not what, I don't know, something with Cosmic. I don't know, I'm not bad at the name. So anyway,
Cosmo Kramer.
So, Cosmic Kramer. Yeah, there you go. And then I had one, do you want to go with your next one, or do you want me to do? I have like 3 of them.
Okay, go ahead. Go give us another one then.
Okay, and then on the section where I was telling you about the gear or whatever that follows you, it's called Cogswell Super Caper. You get through that without dying once, like I did when I was recording my review footage. The second time I beat the game, I did that whole part, which is super hard, and I never do it right. I never did it right the first time, and never did it right this time very well, but I did the whole part just one go, no continuing on that part. I did that part 1 time.
That's impressive.
That's how you get that. Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know how I did it, but I did it. So, and then go ahead with yours, I guess.
Okay, then my last one is, Jane, get me off of this crazy thing. And that is get stuck at one of the many conveyor belts in this game and not be able to get off the conveyor belt and figure out how to beat that part. Because there are a ton of conveyor belts in this game.
Yeah.
And there are a ton of spots where you can fall down a hole off the conveyor belt or just get hit by an enemy. Whatever.
Right.
So if you get stuck on a conveyor belt and die or just can't beat that part, you get the Jane, get me off of this crazy thing trophy.
That was the most frustrating part about that first boss, is that you're on conveyor belts the whole time. Like, it's always spinning you towards the nearest is that right? It's always spinning you towards the nearest hole or whatever.
Yes, you're going towards a hole, and their boxes are coming down the conveyor belt too, so they kind of push you to the hole.
Yeah, and he has the little dog that comes out, and he'll always hit you, and you'll always fall damage to the hole. That's a really difficult boss, now that I'm thinking about it, for the first boss. But anyway, so my other trophy would be Cogswell, You're Fired, which would be you beat him, in the second to last level, the penultimate level.
That's a good one.
Yep, and then on the last level, once you get past the rocks and you get to your ship and escape, it'll be called Escape from M38, which is the planet, which is a nod to Metroid there with its escape sequence. So
there you go.
Did you come up with anything, Justin?
I got nothing. My brain's not working much tonight.
That's fine.
For some reason.
It's fine. That's fine. You answered too many medical questions today.
No.
That's fine. Okay, so we need to rate this game. How do you guys want to rate this game? Any ideas?
Type of astronaut food.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know anything about it.
What kinds are there?
Yeah. Can you give me some different kinds of astronaut food?
There's like, and they're like fruit.
Okay.
Or
Fruit. All right. So type
dehydrated
of fruit. Type of dried fruit.
type of dried fruit. Let's do
Okay.
type of dried fruit.
All right. Type of dried fruit. Okay. Boy, that's a doozy.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll do dried pineapple.
Okay.
Because not every bite of dried pineapple is the same. Kind of like all the levels are different in this game. And they're not every bite that you get is good either.
Okay.
Because pineapple's kind of hit or miss anyway. And then you dry it and it's hit or miss there too. There you go. Dried pineapple.
That's fine. Okay, that's good. All right, I'll go with dried cherries. And my reasoning is because I've noticed that whenever I get a pack of dried fruit, if it has cherries in it, the price is a lot higher. I don't know if it's cherries are just more expensive in general, but this game's a little bit more expensive. So like a dried cherry, it's a little bit more of an expensive, I guess it's more exotic fruit because it's more expensive. And so that kind of ties in the game. Also, cherries for me, I'm a big fan, but I'm not always in the mood for cherries.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of how I feel about this game. Got to be in the right mood, but it's a good game.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
All right, John.
All right.
I don't know a whole lot of dried fruits, so I was just gonna go with raisins. Those are dried prunes or grapes or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't really have as good of a reason as you guys, because you guys are pros at this. But
right.
raisins, because I like raisins a lot. I'm not always gonna want raisins, but they're nice, and you can take little bits here and there, and if you save state on this, you can just do little bits of the game at a time, I guess. And some people don't like raisins, and that's fine. And those would be the people who give the game a D and like a 4.
Dog, you can eat them and die.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
My dog ate raisins one time, and that was not pretty.
Yeah,
Yikes.
they get
really
sick.
Yeah, she got really sick.
She
was like crapping all over the house.
Oh, lovely.
Bad. Yeah,
so when John said, see, you said something about you were talking about your raisin description. You're like, some people don't like raisins.
Yeah.
And what I totally expected you to say was, and some people don't like raisins, and some people are wrong. So.
Oh, I didn't want to be that cavalier with it. See, I like the opinion that or the idea that opinions are just everyone has one, and that's fine, and that's kind of how I operate, because there's no reason to get all gung-ho over opinions or whatever. Some people just they don't have the context to like the game like you do, or the thing like you do. If you went to see the newest Star Wars or something, like, and you didn't like Star Wars or something, then you're not going to like the newest Star Wars. So that's fine. That's your opinion because you just don't like Star Wars. That's fine. People have different opinions, and I don't really, am I disappointed sometimes by people's opinions? Of course. But, it's not going to hurt me. That's just their opinion,
So were you or have you been disappointed in our show so far?
No, not really. I think that there were a few episodes where I was like, oh, come on. Like, this game's not that bad or
I just
something.
meant this
but,
episode. You didn't have to dig through our whole catalog here all of a sudden. I just meant
this episode.
tonight.
Yeah, no. I've had fun. I've liked talking. I feel like we covered the game pretty well. We did talk about the music pretty extensively, which was a big point. We even talked about the graphics a lot. So I got out most of the things I wanted to say. So
okay,
I'm happy.
Good.
You've been a great guest.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. We as per usual, when we have guests on, especially on games that Jess and I would not be able to cover well, you, John, have definitely picked up the slack, and I would just say, just everybody out there who's been a guest on the show, everybody always just picks up any slack that we may have, and it's always great to have guests on. Especially on episodes that we're like, this one would have been really hard for Jess and I to cover, just he and I. There would have been way too many tangents, and we wouldn't have covered the game very well.
I like to talk too, so sorry if I, have butted in too much or whatnot. But that's just me. So I don't know.
Oh no, it's been perfect.
I'm real passionate about different things, especially games I like and whatnot. Get real.
All right, you want to do some feedback?
I would love to do some feedback.
I'd like to hear what people think.
Let me pull it up here. So, of course, my Facebook app just wants to restart.
I did post a little too late on this one, unfortunately.
We got quite a bit.
From what I saw, I a lot of people, commented well or whatnot. So
yeah, we got a decent amount, but I feel like we could have got more if I would have posted a little sooner.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know the general.
All right, here we go. So Eric Purcell says, that darn Mr. Spacely ruins everything. Nathan Sweeney says, great gameplay, all-around fun game. I picked this up last year at a flea market for $5. Somehow, not sure how I got that lucky. And that's he shows a picture of it too. He left the price sticker on it, which
shoot, I would too if I got this game for $5, I'd be leaving that price tag on too.
I do that sometimes where I'll leave it on there if it's a good price.
Douglas DeLeckie Jr. says $5. That's astounding. Stephen Michael says, excellent. I love this game. Taito coming through strong with another awesome platformer. I thankfully got a copy well before the price got out of control. I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Eric Purcell comes back and says, I wish I would have jumped on this title earlier. Now I'll probably never own it. And John says, can't wait. Hope y'all like it. We will see. Chris Vanderhoff says, I can't wait to hear the quest for the card on this one. Well, hopefully John's story fulfilled your needs.
People are going to really have to quit requesting these rare, semi-expensive and or expensive games because let me just tell you, I may have a lot of games, but I do not have a lot of the rare, uncommon, expensive games. So,
well, that was the other reason I requested this one is because I feel like you guys, I know you usually want to do it with the card or whatever, but I feel like you guys really should at some point jump into all these rare, more expensive games because there's a lot of good ones in there. But a lot of the other ones are, good too. So I don't know, whatever. Yeah. But I wanted to get at least one of the bigger rare ones on there, So.
Oh yeah. No complaints. I mean, I think this is where we needed to be tonight. Okay. Yeah. So maybe I'm watching too much This Is Us, but I'm feeling emotional. But I feel like this is the point we need to be at. And recording Jetsons episodes, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. All right. Ivan Kaproth Jocelyn says, I got nothing on this game, but I love the show. I used to worry about George falling off the treadmill that dangled off the edge of his house and would envy the kids getting ready for school via a machine that got them dressed automatically. Gotta love the Jetsons. Jay Jorgensen says, I think I played this one before. I remember it being fun. Nick Stevens says, I haven't played much of it, but I figure you'll hear me on the show saying it's in my top 10. Weird how that keeps happening. I don't know. And maybe he called in. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till the voicemails, see if he called in.
Yeah. Gabe Van Gilder says, I hope this is good because it looks like a game I might not want to play. LOL. Brian Christopher says, I loved you in that 70s show.
Jerk.
And that rounded us out.
Okay. I've got something from Google Plus.
Is it from Ryan?
Ryan.
It's Ryan. Ryan's going to become internet famous only because he's like the sole person on the Google Plus. But Ryan does say, I like the soundtrack and the bright colors used in the visual layout that reminded me a bit of Super Mario Brothers 2. On the other hand, flinging all his boxes would get old for me, and quickly at that. My gut tells me that this will get good commentary from you guys while not being in my wheelhouse. So he did not expect this to be a game he would like, but he does expect the show to be good.
Yeah, there you go.
Sweet.
So there you go. I think you're going to be right on that one, Ryan. and he likes the soundtrack as well. I wonder if he's heard all the songs.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has.
All right.
Okay.
We got any voicemails?
Oh, well, we have one. Have we
Okay.
checked the Facebook? I think there was a couple comments on the Facebook page.
Oh.
I'll
Yeah.
pull it up. I can pull it up pretty quick.
Me too.
Okay, then you pull that up. I'll check the voicemail real quick.
This is great pod.
Yeah.
2 stars.
Good
That's
good
okay.
pod with
Hey, listen. Now that we do everything live as well, people can give us a break. Right?
Yeah.
right.
Right.
So this is the Facebook page. Christopher Kellogg says, "Fun game," and hey, it's not made by LJN. Nathan Sweeney
point.
also wanted to rub it in everybody's faces here that he got great game. I found it last year at a flea market for $5. Not sure how I got that lucky. Just wanted to make sure everybody got that. And Michael Murdoch says, "I remember this game when I was young." All right, you got that voicemail loaded up, ready to go?
Yep. So, Nick Stevens did call in, as usual.
Oh, okay, good.
Let's see what his opinion is about this game.
Bites you ever have from Nick Stevens, but this is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Like probably top 10.
Okay.
I was going to make that joke somewhere in the episode. I was going to be like, hey, what do you guys think Nick Stevens thought of this?
Yeah.
As
Beat me
usual,
to it, though.
it's in his top 10.
He has like the largest top 10 ever.
This is awesome.
This
There
guy's
must be a
top
lot of
10 is like
ties.
100 games long.
It must be just like, like I said, a lot of ties. Like he has 10 number ones, 10 number twos.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there's a lot of ties then. Yeah, that makes sense.
As much as I find the game frustrating, I have to agree with him on this one. Not many of his other top 10s, but I would probably put this game up there for me. But maybe not for other people. But I don't know. I like it, challenging and good.
Yeah, it's a good game.
I'd put it in my
I think
top
it's pretty good.
NES games, maybe not my top.
Well, he said top 10, period. So.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a little bit more of a diehard fan than I am.
Yeah, he loves this game.
Yeah, he does. He loves this game and all NES games apparently. Since about the time
seriously.
that Super Mario Odyssey came out, he's just loved every NES game.
Yeah, he's become a Nintendo boy now.
Is that where you guys got that from? Was that from the Super Mario, like something about Super Mario Odyssey, or what? Was he talking about a game?
No, I mean he calls in every week. I don't know. It's weird.
I was just trying to think what game that was where he must have done that. Where he's like, "This is the top." I don't know, but anyway, you can look it up, figure it out.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. I agree. I think this is it's not in my top 10, but it's definitely a high quality game, and it's definitely worth a shot. I would put it above a lot of games we've covered on this show. So,
Yeah.
I definitely think
would
it's worth demoing. So you guys should check it
Right.
out. And if you're a collector, it's worth getting. Here's another thing: if you're a collector who has bought this game to put in your collection and for some strange reason hasn't played it, you may want to pull that off the shelf and play it because
Play it.
it's not like stadium events where it's just a stupid game that costs a ridiculous amount of money. This is actually a good game that costs a ridiculous amount of money. So
I don't even count stadium events like the games because it's just like you can get the same game, World Class Track Meet, and it's like 99 cents. I got mine for $1. So I always make that joke to everyone. Oh, I've got stadium events like 3 times. It's like on the combo Mario Kart, and then like you get like I have like the standalone one, and I have a second copy.
all right, so
Yeah.
John, shout out your channel again because I think people will want to check it out. So at least, if not for nothing else, to see your review with some gameplay of this game, right?
Definitely. It's the JZ NES, just all letters, just like that. It's that easy. Go subscribe. That's cool. Or if not, that's whatever. Check out the review at least. The Jetsons review. It just hit 1,900 views, I think, and it's like just turned 3 years old. That's what the other thing was. Facebook reminded me of that or something. So that's cool. So it was 3 years ago now. But I do different sorts of videos, all sorts of variety of videos on there. I'm actually restarting because I did do this series before, but a video series about the music in games. So like it's called Nerd Symphonic, and this is like the third episode, but this new marathon is going to be of Zelda games. I'm doing all the Zelda games. So I've done Zelda 1 and 2 right now on NES is one episode, and then I'll do like Link to the Past, so on and so forth, going forth. And then I'm going to start doing the Mega Man games, just like from 1 to 10 there, because Mega Man 11's coming out later this year, hopefully. Anyway,
Nice.
So I'll do those for my NES 101 videos, and I have this series called no, I can't say it because it involves the G word. The G word from the backlog, which is basically where I take all the G words of my backlog that I find, and I just review them. So I also have a series about finishing my backlog, which motivates people to finish their backlogs and shows how my progress is going on mine. So
The impossible task.
Yeah, I mean, I've made progress. I just try to stick to like a game or two a month, and it usually ends up working out pretty well. So
Nice.
there you go. And I've got a big backlog. So.
You must not play very
As you can
long
imagine.
games.
Sometimes it's all about a nice variety and balance. Like I did Breath of the Wild a few months ago, as like one game that I played for like 1 month. I think that was it.
I think Breath of the Wild. No, okay. So Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey are probably the only 2 games I've beat in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Just because it's just.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the game Parasite Eve, but that's a PlayStation 1 game. It's like an RPG, and it's also like kind of an action RPG. It's the coolest thing because it's like it's like top down, and so it's like turn based, but you're also moving around and shooting the enemy as well. It's really interesting to describe, and it's almost like survival horror too, like Resident Evil or something. It's a really interesting game. It only takes like 10 or 20 hours to beat. I think I put 20 hours into it, but I spent a lot of time grinding the Ultimate Weapon. That was another one I had in the backlog. That's why I'm mentioning it. But it's really
cool.
Pretty cheap too.
Yeah,
cost you more than $20. So
nice. That's the crazy good thing and the crazy bad thing about video games these days is there's so much time, like so many hours of great, amazing gaming that you can do.
Oh yeah,
for a very cheap amount of money. Mm-hmm. But there's no time. There's just no time.
Right.
Yeah. There's no problem.
Oh well.
There's no time.
Well, so now that I'm sad about being an adult, let's go ahead and wrap the show. So, shout outs, Retro Junkies. Shout out to the Wee Dude for the music. He does an amazing job. Wee Guy on YouTube. His name's Wee Guy on YouTube. Shout out to the Fox Dude for the logo. Shout out to JZNES for joining us tonight. And Justin, where can they find us?
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, all that fancy jazz, and you can find us on twodudesinaNest.com, nintendudes.com, and nesdudes.com. And you can always call us by going to the website. And what do you do with the website?
Well, if you go
to
click
the little button.
Oh yeah, John, you click the little button, right? But where is that little button?
I don't know on the website. It's on there's a little button on and you can click it, and it's like a little phone icon or something.
Have you done it? That's the biggest question.
I think I went there to get the number, and then I just call you from like contacts now, So if I ever, I usually call for the newer episodes. So
all right, well, I want to show. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah,
it's in the upper corner.
Yeah, exactly.
See, on the website.
Oh, I see.
It's a little phone icon.
Just pulls it right up.
Pulls it right up. And in fact, in the upper right corner is a phone icon. In the upper left corner is an eye. If you go there, that's the support line. You don't go there, actually. I thought maybe if you clicked on the little eye, it would give you the phone number. But it does not, actually, so don't do that. Unless the website's broken, then you can go there.
Yeah. Can I do the number? Because I know it.
Okay, yeah, please.
Well, I know the acronym or whatever.
Okay, you do the
7757 Retro 1. Is that it?
That's right.
That's it.
7757 Retro 1. What is that in actual numbers? That is 775-773-8761. And I don't blame anybody for not knowing that. I don't even know that. I just looked it up. So,
You know what the thing is? It's funny. I remember that every time I'm listening to the podcast, like, but I couldn't remember it right now. So.
775-773-8761. And I expect calls now because we've spent a lot of time on the phone number. This episode.
That's right.
I'll always call. Maybe I won't always talk about the game like I did with Strider. I recommended you guys another game for that one. I know how much you like that because you always mention that every time anybody does that. Oh, you just talked about the other game instead. I'm like, yeah. Strider's one I got to get to. It's one of them.
I guess I would give a shout out to Stephen Michael from Facebook because he's got that retro game of the month club that he's trying to get people to be playing in, and it seems to be working. They played Star Tropics in February, a game we covered, and everybody seemed to have a good time with Star Tropics. And in March, I think they're playing Mega Man 4. I think it's Mega Man 4.
That's right. Yeah.
And we'd love to do a cover of it on the show, but I think we're booked through March at this point, so I don't think we can coincide. I think
Did you guys do 3 yet?
We've not done 3.
I don't remember.
We've done 1 and 2.
So you just skip 3 for the time being.
Well, I mean, we're not.
I know. You're not going to do it anyway, but. I know.
Yeah, so we'll probably. I don't know. We may go in order. We may not. We didn't go in order with Castlevania because we still haven't played 2, but we played 1 and 3. So.
Yeah.
Right. There's another one where you skipped 1 too, right? I can't remember which one it was.
Probably. We're not.
It had bugged me at the time. Or, I don't remember. Anyway.
We're not. We've stated from the get-go that we are not going in order. So sorry.
Yeah, definitely.
Who wants us to?
Well, of course you skipped Mario 3, which is fine because I know you guys make that a big episode or whatever. But see, here's the thing. I was going to call in and actually mention
Zelda
this,
we
but
did backwards. Sorry. Zelda we did backwards.
Zelda, that was it. That was what I was thinking. Zelda was backwards. Yeah. You're talking about how, everyone's so hyped for it or whatever, and of course that's going to happen, but I know you want to make it like a milestone, and that's fine. But, just relax. I mean, it's going to be good no matter what you guys do, You can never live up to everyone's hype, so you might as well just not expect to live up to their hype and just go in anyway and just make the best episode you guys can make and, and work with it. They're going to listen to whatever you put out, I mean, even if it's a bad episode, which I don't think there have been very many bad episodes. I always entertain.
No offense to
I think it'll be all right.
Aaron Robinson out there, but the Fact Xanadu episode is pretty bad.
You guys always mention that, but I didn't mind that episode. I actually liked that episode because it's a fun game. You guys didn't talk as much, and that's fine. But you always cite that as being like the worst episode, but I didn't think that was.
What's funny is I feel like that was the worst episode mainly because that was a game I played a ton as a kid, but then we got on the episode and I just drew a blank. It's like I just couldn't talk about it. But for some reason, Aaron fortunately was there to cover us. But man, I played
from an insider's perspective. It was probably
yeah, because it was a game that I played. I put way more time into that than I did the Jetsons game, for example.
Yeah,
and I feel like I was able to talk way better about Jetsons than I was about Fact Xanadu, but. Oh, well.
I'm better at leading you on in conversation, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
Leading you to the point, or I don't know.
Well.
Anyway.
Alas. All right, that's pretty much it. Good show, guys.
Yeah.
And I'll put some music in here when we actually release for audio version. And
definitely. You gotta put the best tracks. You don't have to do the in-betweens, whichever ones you don't like, but
Yeah. I'll put I'll play all the Jetson stuff in here, and then this that you're hearing coming up is for the next game. So, bye everybody.
Bye.